right. Tell me your name and what year you are at GCU.
My name is Jacob Schmid, and I am a senior at GCU. I went to GCU not knowing what to expect. I was debating whether to go to public school because, just my experience in high school, like wanting to go to school not just for the reason of getting an education stuff, but for having an impact on the people that I meet there. And GCU was like that in between where it has the Christian foundation, which is important. I value that, but it also has a bunch of opportunities to meet people that, aren't raised in a Christian background. I knew there's a reason I was there that wasn't just engineering, which I chose beforehand because GCU makes you choose the degree before you even sign up and apply. Dangerous Men was something that I experienced in high school and something that God brought a lot of deepen my relationship with him, the vulnerability, the actual relationship of talking to God about my sin and going to him no matter what. I experienced that just through, Dangerous Men in high school, and that was something that I experienced and wanted to share with others in a way that I could connect with other guys. And freshman year was an interesting year. It was COVID, and there's not much going on, no clubs, activities, and with that, there just wasn't a lot of opportunity to be super busy. Freshman year, I remember pitching Dangerous Men to Ryan, to my roommates, a couple other people I met, and we met and for the first meeting, and it was just really not well done, not well planned. It was just kind of thrown together, and haven't led a group before, but I just knew that I knew there's something more than just school. If I really wanted lasting relationships, I had to be intentional with the people that I met that year. And Dangerous Men is one of the things that I associated with intentional relationships just from my experience. Ryan, Panya, and Jacob, and Aiden, and then Dom, those guys we were all meeting together for the first time. I think it was second weekend, I think one of them stopped coming, Aiden. Third weekend, Jacob was out of it, he didn't, that was not for him. Then the fourth weekend, it was Dom and Panya, they were just inconsistent and just stopped coming. And then it was just me and my friend Ryan just going through it. And I remember just being so discouraged, really discouraged. So much pressure on me as a leader, oh, it was my fault, I didn't do a good enough job, I should get the guys committed, it was a representation of who I am, I have to get the guys committed, I have to bring the change and get people to come, and that was so much, it was so focused on me. I think what was good is that it brought forth just my need for first God, my need for him, and then my need for other people, another guy to lead with. It also showed me how important just the one person is, how it's not about the numbers. And I think that was actually so cool, how God kind of planned that my freshman year. It was he's showing me that it's not about the numbers, Jacob. It's about actually the one person and training them up. So it was cool to see Ryan. We ended up just going through the steps of freedom online because school ended. The whole planning of it was terrible. I was not didn't have it down, But Ryan today is he was the first brother really I made at college. I remember that summer coming off of that, discouraged, kind of and I remember praying for just a person to lead Dangerous Men with, a person to lead with. So I went to a community gathering, and a Dangerous Men community gathering that Lowell started hosting. I think it was the first one. And Lowell comes up to me and It's like in this cool place in Minneapolis, you know, like we're on the top of a roof smoking a cigar. Like what man doesn't love that? And he's like, I got someone for you to meet, Jacob. And he like brings me over to this guy who has like kind of like long hair. I was like, he kind of looks fruity. Turns out he's from Edina. Just kidding. But no, he's like, this is Mike. And I meet Mike, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be a freshman down at GCU. And I just was like, oh, dude, that's awesome. Like, you know, like I was down there, you know, like just this past year, gonna be a sophomore, and want to lead Dangerous Men. I want to just, yeah, like see other guys like experience what I did, and you know, like encounter Jesus through that. And we then like got in contact, and then met down at GCU. And I remember us just like getting an intro gathering together, like ordering some pizza from Canyon Pizza Company, which is like terrible. It's like the worst. It's like a bunch of college students like learning how to make pizza on the job. And it hosted in my dorm, which is like very small. And we were both expecting like maybe like 8, you know, not many people. I put up a flyer in my dorm that got like torn down by GCU. It's like, it's not approved by GCU. You can't have flyers up. And then there's like 16 guys that ended up showing up, just packed. Like people were sitting on the floor. There's definitely not enough chairs for them. Me and Mark were just like, dang, like this is so cool. Like God just brought this together and answered prayer. Like he truly answered the prayer. And that's kind of where it started to grow, because it was from those guys that they ended up encountering Jesus through Dangerous Men. Those guys are just, yeah, those guys are so cool to just be obedient to like God leading them to lead others through Dangerous Men. That's kind of the backstory. I think I was like reflecting on it a little bit, because that's like my last steps at GCU, or being a college student at least. And God is so faithful, so far more faithful than I can be. It kind of like reminds me of always that verse where it's like, abide in me, you know, like Jesus says, like, I'm the vine, you are the branches, abide in me, you know, like, because apart from me you can do nothing. And that's actually something that God was kind of showing me this weekend. Was I was bearing the burden that came to my mind when we were asking like Jesus to reveal just the burdens that we're carrying, was bearing fruit. I was so focused, like as Dangerous Men continued to grow, I was so focused on bearing fruit. Like that was what I was seeking, the fruit so hard. Like how many guys are coming up? Is it growing? Like are leaders like stepping up? You know, like those who've gone through it stepping up. Am I doing a good job in like, you know, like encouraging others to lead? How can I be better, like in order to see more fruit? And I was so focused on that, and that was like the burden that came to mind, that like that God was revealing. And it's kind of like true that like I was just so focused on that, and what he like said in response was like you're my little branch. You're connected to a vine that there's so much more fruit than just what you see, and like just what I see. Like there's so much more fruit that Jesus is doing, you know, and growing. And it's ultimately like he's the source. I think one of the guys that brought up a good point, or just truth, the steps, was God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the ones he calls. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to be free from masturbation and pornography in order to go and lead a group or to help others. Like he already calls you, even if you're not equipped or whatever, but he's with you, teaching you and training you and sanctifying you as you follow him and obey him. having like a front row seat and seeing what God has done these past 4 years shows me just like such grace to be able to see him move in people's lives and see men like free. Like there's nothing like better than that. So much I like try to look for more and want more, and I forget to look back and see like what God's done and just like how loving it is to even be able to like take me along what he's doing and involve me. Like it's better than anything I could get from this world. Like to be able to see just him move and free others and like show himself to others and for them to experience him and experience his freedom. Like that's beyond what this world could offer. And then to look ahead, like, so they have these scholarships for guys on campus to lead Bible studies on their halls. It's called a life leader, that's the position. But to see like the life leaders, like go through Dangerous Men their first semester, like that's what they're doing. Like they go through the Dangerous Men book. The life leaders like, okay, no, like we're gonna go through this book, which like dives deep into like the struggles of lust and pornography and masturbation. Like that would be really cool, and to see like everyone on campus, like every man on campus, like go through Dangerous Men, and then like going to the camp to see the camp filled with men from GCU, like 200 plus. Yeah, who knows what God's gonna do? He is working. That's what we know. So first off, I love you guys. Love how you guys have been my brothers, just those at GCU, and just the encouragement you bring to me. Just for those like all around leading groups, like this is building the kingdom of God. What better to spend our time, and like it is a sacrificing time. And like I know Daniel was just kind of mentioning, like, yeah, I've been leading a group every single semester, and it's a time commitment, and it's not always easy, and that's the bigger and better. I thought the bigger and better graduating, like is getting that super cool engineering job, like working for some like Boeing or Honeywell, like some like, or like the United States Air Defense or something like that. But like the bigger and better is like, and I don't even realize it all, like what it's doing, like what God's doing behind the scenes, and what like an eternal impact it has. But like there's a greater impact